English Listening Test. Part 3. Designed for C1 learners. This test consists of 20 questions which are divided into 4 parts. I will give you a short instruction at the beginning of each part. Before we get started, take a pen and paper so you can take notes while listening. Are you ready? Let's get started. Part 1. Listen to a TV call-in program about saving money and match the names with the tip they had. Use the letters only once. There are 3 extra letters which you don't need to use.
Hello and welcome to the show. Today we're looking at different ways of saving money, and we're asking you, the viewers, to call in with any ideas you've experimented with. The number you need to call is 1-851-324-8586, and the lines are already open. And it looks as if we have a caller on line 1. Can you tell us your name, please?
Yes, I'm Jack.
Hello, Jack. What's your money-saving idea, please?
A couple of years ago, I decided to start putting all my change in a coin jar at the end of the day. I have one of those big coffee cans, so it takes a long time to fill it up. It's my way of saving up to go away in the summer. I wouldn't be able to afford it otherwise.
Those coffee cans are great for saving money in, aren't they, Jack? There's another caller on line 2. Emma, is that right?
Yes, it is.
What do you do to save money, Emma?
I always take a packed lunch to work. We have a small kitchen on my floor with a microwave, so we can bring our food in a plastic box and heat it up. I usually take what's left from dinner the night before, but if there isn't anything hot, I make a salad. It's definitely a lot cheaper than having to pay for a meal every day.
Thanks for that, Emma. Yeah, taking a packed lunch is an excellent way of saving money when you need to have lunch at work. Okay, our next caller is Peter. How do you try to save money, Peter?
Well, when I noticed that my energy bill kept creeping up and up, I decided to turn down the thermostat on my heater. Instead of setting it at 68 degree, I turned it down to 60 degree, and it's made a big difference. I pay about $20 less on my heat bill than I did before, and if I feel cold, I put an extra sweater on.
That sounds like a great idea, Peter. Most of us have our heat on too high, so it makes sense to turn it down to pay less and save energy at the same time. Okay, thanks, Peter. Back to line 2 for our next caller. What's your name, please?
Olivia.
Olivia, tell us your money-saving idea.
Well, it might sound radical, but I cut up all of my credit cards last year. Now, I only use cash. Paying in cash really makes you think about how much you're spending. If you use a credit card, you tend to lose control to some extent. It's worked for me, anyway, and I've cut my spending by about 30%.
Olivia, that's certainly the bravest solution we've had so far. Okay, we have time for one more call. Mary on line 1. What's your money-saving idea?
It might sound weird, but I've found that it's a really bad idea to go shopping on an empty stomach. When I'm hungry, I end up buying lots of snacks on impulse. It's such a waste of money. So now I do my shopping right after I've eaten some food, and I don't spend half as much.
That makes sense, Mary. Thank you for calling. Well, I hope that the rest of our viewers have found those ideas useful. And now, it's time for the news.
Choose the correct option. Part 2. Listen to 5 people talking about their recent holidays and match the speakers with the type of holiday the person had. Use the letters only once. There are 3 extra letters which you don't need to use.
Well, it was supposed to be like one of those endless summer holidays like when you were a kid, you know? Just pottering around, watching some daytime TV, seeing some mates, staying in bed till noon. But inevitably, the more I hung around the place, the more I realized how much needed doing. Before I knew it, I was digging up the garden, fitting shelves, and tidying up. The only time I went out was to go to the DIY shop for more bits and bobs. By the end of the week, I was more shattered than I had been at the beginning. So much for that idea. In the future, I'll make a point of getting away.
Our experience was fantastic. It only took us 2 hours to reach our destination, and the key was readily available for us. We didn't have to go through the hassle of dealing with anyone. There were no long waits at airports, no check-ins at hotels, no dragging heavy luggage across long distances, and no awkward communication in a foreign language. We arrived, let ourselves in, and found all the comforts of our own home. What's more, everything was clean and tidy. Within just 3 hours of leaving home, we were already sitting at a cozy pub by the riverside, enjoying a cold beer. It made us wonder why we ever bothered with those exotic holidays when we could just do this. Well, we know better now.
Oh, I'm so glad I did it. I mean, it was hard work getting up at the crack of dawn so we could get well on the way before the heat of the afternoon. I don't think I've ever been so tired in my life. And my feet were killing me by the end of it. But it was a brilliant way to meet people, not just tourists like me, but also the porters and the guide. They opened our eyes to the cultural aspects of the trip, so that was a bonus. I'm glad I had them to carry the tent for me. I'd never have made it otherwise. It was such a brilliant feeling, though, when we finally made it there. I'll never forget it.
Well, I have to say I was dreading it, but my husband had been pestering me for weeks. I mean, it's not much of a getaway, is it? Having to be on your best behavior and making polite conversation all the time? But I have to say, it wasn't half as bad as I expected. There are some quite nice places to visit near their place, and so we did manage to have some time to ourselves. And of course, we got waited on hand and foot, too. All our meals were provided for us, although we did have to chip in with the washing up. The great thing was, we had plenty of time to just relax, sit in the garden with a book, watch a movie, and do some shopping. I didn't expect to feel as refreshed by the end of it as I did.
The place didn't have a lot going for it. I mean, it's not really on the main tourist trail, so it hasn't got much in the way of culture. There were some interesting buildings and some nice bars, but nothing special really. I wouldn't have liked to stay there any longer because we'd run out of things to do by the end of the second day. But the hotel was clean, the food was nice. I got the chance to practice my language skills and pick up some bargains. When I got back to work, I did feel as if I'd been away for longer, so it must be true what they say. A change is as good as a rest. But now it's back to the grindstone.
Choose the correct option. Part 3. Listen to an interview with Michael Smith talking about his dream house and be ready to complete the sentences.
Welcome to Dream Home Designs, the show where we take you inside some of the most stunning and innovative homes around the world. Today we have a special guest joining us, Michael Smith, a renowned interior designer with a passion for creating unique and personalized spaces. Join us as we explore the latest trends in home design and get expert tips from Michael on his dream house. Michael, what would your dream house be like? Tell me about the kitchen, living room, and yard.
Well, I have been giving a lot of thought to my dream house and its design. My father happens to work in this field, and he has offered to draw up the plans for me. However, I'm passionate about art and would like to incorporate it into my home decor. In particular, I envision a frieze in the living room where I can showcase my own artwork. I used to do a lot of construction work when I was younger, so I would like to be involved in the process of building the decoration, as it would give me a sense of ownership and pride in the house that I helped to build. I would like my kitchen to be a spacious area, located next to a room equipped with various media devices. This would allow me to follow along with cooking tutorials and recipes while keeping an eye on things. I am also hoping to have an industrial-sized refrigerator installed in my kitchen. However, I understand that it could be expensive, as well as a spacious island where I can work comfortably and a massive sink to clean things. I used to work in a restaurant, and I loved the dishwasher there because of its quick and easy functionality. So I would like to have a restaurant-style dishwasher installed in my kitchen as well.
Yeah, so tell me about, what would your yard be like?
I used to have a variety of colorful flowers like marigolds and coneflowers in my yard, but now I find myself longing for a simple expanse of lush green lawn.
What about your bathroom?
My bathroom? Well, I would like to have a kind of spa in there, honestly. I would like to have a big bathtub, but I want my house to have geothermal heating. And if I have a geothermal heating system, I can also probably have a hot spring in the bathroom. I like it to be quite big and have a nice shower as well. Just a very nice open area with nice sinks. I don't want to feel constrained in my bathroom. I don't want it to be small. It has to be big.
Well, that's awesome. What about your living room?
In my living room, I put a lot of importance on having art that adds detail to the space. I'd like to create murals and friezes on the walls to create an entertaining atmosphere even before turning on the TV or any other devices. The room has an artistic and comfortable feel that doesn't come across as sterile, but rather makes it feel cozy and homey.
Cool. Would you have a big garage?
I probably would have a big garage because I really love driving, and I used to race cars at the track. And for the purposes of doing work on cars or any other DIY work around the house, I would like to have a really big, nice garage.
Would you have any sort of like a swimming pool or, I know you said you wanted a sauna in your bathroom, but...
I would really like a portion that's maybe separate from the bathroom that has shutters that open up. So on a nice night, you can actually open it and see out over the yard or whatever landscapes that the house is built next to.
That would be cool.
But I would like the area to be a little bit private, hopefully, surrounded by woods a little bit where you can't see your neighbors immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
Choose the correct option. Part 4. Listen to an interview with Gillian Clarke, a screenwriter who has contributed to several historical movies and TV shows. Be ready to answer the true or false questions.
How important is historical accuracy in a historical movie, Gillian?
The notion of accuracy in history is a really difficult one in drama because, it's like saying, well, was Titanic accurate? Was The Last Kingdom drama accurate? The thing is, it's not about historical accuracy. It's about whether you can make a drama work from history that means something to an audience now. So I tend to take the view that, in a way, accuracy isn't the issue when it comes to the drama. If you're writing a drama, you have the right as a writer to create the drama that works for you, so you can certainly change details. The truth is, nobody really knows how people spoke in Rome, or how people spoke in the courts of Charles II, or William the Conqueror, or Victoria, or whoever. You have an idea from writing, from books and plays and so on. We know when certain things happened and what sort of dates happened. I think it's really a question of judgment. If you make history ridiculous, if you change detail to the point where history is an absurdity, then obviously things become more difficult. The truth is, the more recent history is, the more difficult it is not to be authentic to it. In a way, it's much easier to play fast and loose with the details of what happened in Rome than it is to play fast and loose with the details of what happened in the Iraq War, So it's all a matter of perspective in some ways. It's something that you have to be aware of and which you try to be faithful to, but you can't ultimately say, a drama has to be bound by the rules of history because that's not what drama is.
Do you think that the writer has a responsibility to represent any kind of historical truth?
Not unless that's his intention. If you intend to be truthful to history and you put a piece out saying, this is the true story of, say, the death of Alexander the Great, exactly as the historical record has it, then of course you do have an obligation. Because if you then deliberately tell lies about it, you're deceiving your audience. If, however, you say you're writing a drama about the death of Alexander the Great purely from your own perspective and entirely in a fictional context, then you have the right to tell the story however you like. I don't think you have any obligation except to the story that you are telling. What you can't be is deliberately dishonest. You can't say, this is true, when you know full well it isn't.
True or false? Don't forget to share your score in the comments section. If you haven't taken our previous listening tests, the playlist link is in the description below. For more valuable content, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates. See you in our upcoming videos.